pretty sure that at one point in your life, you've heard, trust your gut feeling. Or you've said it yourself. I feel it in my gut, right? And it's almost like this instinct, something inside you telling you that maybe, pay a little bit of attention. And sometimes you might not even know, is it your gut feeling, like what is actually happening? And sometimes it's pretty clear, okay? It makes you vomit. Well, let's see how Ms. Bradshaw is reading her gut feeling. You know how we do it here? We narrate, we analyze, we often judge, and we do believe that we know better and would do better. Hopefully. It is the time to take the relationship between Carrie and Aidan to the next level. Oh, people, everything is going well. They are really, clicking, sticking together. They just overcame their last challenge. Aidan feeling uncomfortable with Carrie still hanging out with the guy she cheated on Aidan. They became friends, okay? They fought it out and they are buddies. What cannot Aidan and Carrie overcome? This is what a relationship is supposed to be, going through the thick and thin together. And when it's toxic, one person pleasing the other. Also, that one works. Until you crash and burn. And then identity crisis. Oopsie. It's actually not funny. But you know how things go. You usually need a little push, a little nudge in that direction. The universe to bring its forces and help you make that next step.
My building's going co-op.
There you have it. Homeless Carrie. What will she do now? Well, people, when you are in a relationship, that's one of the benefits, okay? Your partner is gonna take care of it.
I can sell my place and buy this place and that place next door.
Look, maybe Carrie doesn't have the finances to buy this apartment, but her man does. And not only does this mister have enough money to buy her New York apartment, but also the apartment next door. They can break down the wall and have an awesome luxury big space for just the two of them. And Pete, don't get it twisted. He's not buying an apartment for Carrie. He's buying it for the two of them. Now, Carrie is a little bit surprised. First of all, Aidan has that kind of money.
You have a girlfriend, Moneybags?
And second of all, he would really do that. And are they really ready for that step? But here's the thing, they've been spending almost every night together and he's almost living there already. Plus, who wants to now do all the packing, organize the shoes and the dresses and, move to another place? It's much more comfortable if a man just buy it for you. For them. People, please let me know how you felt about Aidan offering Carrie to buy her apartment, the apartment she lives in, so they can move in together. Do you see this as a good thing or do you have doubts around it? I really try to position myself in this situation and I'm gonna be honest, it does not feel right. There is this sense of him buying the apartment almost like taking away this autonomy. Like he's taking over her life in some way. And I don't know if that's because I need to go to therapy, okay, and figure shit out, or is there something to it? I would feel much more comfortable if Aidan would offer to buy a new apartment together, for the two of them to go somewhere new. Of course, I understand there is this question about, okay, finding the apartment and this and that, but I almost feel like it would be better if Aidan lended Carrie money for her to buy this apartment, right? Do some kind of contract in that sense, because there is also this other side. Aidan is doing this for the two of them. That's a huge commitment. So if things don't go well, he can totally feel played by situation. Oh my God, I even bought her apartment, right? I invested in this so much. And on Carrie's side, she might feel like she owes him even more. And then if things don't go well, he's actually making her move out of her place because that's not her place. Like, all in all, it just feels such a bad decision for me.
Think about it.
She doesn't want to make any rash decisions because, you know what? As much as she loves Aidan being there all the time, she's not that happy that he's leaving all his stuff all over the place. So one day, when she's picking it all up, putting it into his bag, there is a little something in that bag that freaks her out. It's a little blue box. Carrie is freaking out. She is nervous because, is this it? But also, oh my God, do I want this right now? She opens it and she vomits. Maybe that's that gut feeling. What do we think about this? And is it about what we're all thinking? Oh my God, typical, because obviously she still cares about Big and Aidan is not the one. Or does it have to do more about her own beliefs, what she feels about herself, and even the fear of maybe losing her independence? You know, if you connect marriage with losing independence, then that can be a real problem, which we already know, okay? You can be both. You can be independent and in a relationship. I mean, that's how it should be. So I'm going to share my 2 cents on this. Aidan is her safety net, right? Aidan is the anchor to who she always returns. If something goes wrong, she comes back. But she's not here with this anchor. She's not here in this safety. She goes out. She tries out different things and then she returns back every time she needs this validation. She's using her relationship with Aidan as a confirmation that she is worthy and can have a good relationship. And it is easier to have that dynamic where she doesn't ever fully commit and she always seems to be with one arm or one leg in the big possibility when there is not real commitment, when there is no real marriage, when they are just dating. Because when she is dating, there is this open possibility of, maybe things not really working out, or that she doesn't have to be as good of a partner as she has to be if she is in a marriage. Her vomiting could be literally just that gut feeling of he is not the one. But then there is the other more complicated reasoning behind it all, right? And it is Carrie not feeling like she deserves this, that she's actually good enough for this. So this is how I'm looking at the situation from that perspective. This fear of not being good enough. With Aidan potentially proposing to her, he is telling her, you are good enough. You are worthy for me. And she cannot accept that, or she finds it very struggling to accept that. Is it because she herself never really feels good enough and she's desperate for that validation? That's why she does all this selfish shit, because it's all about making herself feel good enough? Or she knows deep down that she doesn't treat Aidan the best, so it's almost like, whoa, are we really going that direction? Like, this is all fake. And then the last reason why, this gut feeling came out and made her vomit is just the simple fear of losing independence. She has a certain lifestyle. She is good. She takes care of herself. She's in a good relationship, but she still keeps independence. And committing to someone else can trigger that fear of losing all of that. Does she really want to be a wife? Now, this can also very much be just simple, I think it's going too fast. I'm just not ready.
It hasn't been long enough, has it?
Now, we have a little bit of problem here, people, because who the F knows what is the timeline in this house, okay? How long have now Carrie and Aidan been together? Are we talking they've been back together for 2 months, or are we talking they've been back together for a year?
Is this a real estate merger? Am I a real estate bride?
I mean, is this all because of the apartment? But here's the thing. Carrie is not just upset about potentially this being too fast. She's upset because what the F was he thinking buying that ring?
It's just not me.
It does remind us a little bit of how Big bought her the wrong purse. Now also Aidan does the same shit.
I helped pick the ring.
Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it? For Samantha, it's very clear. Wrong ring, wrong guy. Period. Let's move on. I know, and I myself probably have some part of me that thinks, oh, when my man chooses a ring, it's gonna be the perfect one because he knows what I like. But here's the thing, I don't know what I like. I'm not really sure, like, do I want this piece? Do I want this piece? I think we put so much emphasis on, in this case, him or her picking the right ring because that represents who I am, as though one material thing can break or make the partnership you have. How much this person knows you. Maybe your partner can know so many things about you. How do you deal with things? What kind of support you need? But if he chooses the wrong shirt, you're like, not a soulmate. Maybe the guy who buys you the wrong ring, he buys you the wrong ring because he's more focused on who you are as a person rather than what you wear. Hmm? Hmm? So to me personally, it does feel a little bit immature. What do you think? Now, when it comes to Carrie, of course, knowing that she's a fashion girly and she puts a lot of emphasis on that, the easiest thing is to say, oh, this is some kind of surface level validation, right? He doesn't know my style type thing.
It was a pear-shaped diamond with a gold band. Ick!
And then the second layer is not choosing the right ring because he doesn't really pay attention to who Carrie is.
Aidan should have known that that ring wasn't me. How can I marry a guy who doesn't know which ring is me?
But then if we go even deeper, and we know the history between Carrie and Aidan, there could be this fear of knowing that there are things about her, how she treats Aidan, how committed she is to this relationship that are not the best. That maybe she is even hiding from Aidan, the whole meeting up with Big, those are all parts of her. So in some way, it's not only, oh, he doesn't know me, who I am as a person, it's also he doesn't know how many things I've hidden from him. Is it really okay that this person is now ready to propose to me? How much did I let him actually see the full me? But you know what? Wrong timing, wrong ring, everything can be a little bit weird right now. So Carrie is just gonna do the right thing. She's gonna be honest with Aidan for the first time in her life. Okay, I'm being a little bit unfair. Carrie does usually tell a lie, but then she also kind of reveals the truth in some cases. And you know how it is. You need to practice, right? Before you become the master.
I'll just say, I'm not ready to get engaged yet, but I love you and I want to live with you.
She loves him and she does want to move in together with him. She wants to really try this. But when it comes to the engagement, that's just a little bit too fast. Side note, if you're looking for a ring, then I would expect you have some kind of understanding between the two of you. Like you've had the talk about marriage. Maybe when do you want to get married? Where are you in your stages of your life? Do you feel like this could be the next step? It seems that all of those conversations did not happen between Aidan and Carrie. And one might say that for Aidan, that's just logical. You see, if we look now from Aidan's perspective, yes, you might say he is trying to lock her down and blah, 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 right? That could be possibility. But if you look at just so far what we know, and if you try to understand Aidan's action or someone like Aidan, this is a man who decided to get back together with someone who cheated on him, right? Meaning that there has to be a very, very high expectation and sense that this person is it. Right? You don't go back together with someone after such a betrayal because you just want to see where it goes. Even though you might go into it thinking that, oh, we're just going to try, we're going to see if we can fix it, blah, blah, blah. You're actually doing all of that because there is this underlying loyalty already established, or loyalty, like expectation that this is it. And then you're just trying to figure out how to make it happen, right? This is how Aidan is entering this relationship. Even when he asked her to let go of Big and she didn't do it, and he still stayed with her, again shows that he truly believes that this is it. Their last challenge, their last obstacle, which is again Big, and how Carrie is still hanging out with him, was also solved, right? We saw that at the end of the day, at the end of my last analysis, Aidan and Big became friends. Now, what do you think that would do to someone like Aidan? He had worries about Carrie because of Big. Can I really trust her? And then they kind of overcame this, right? No, everything is good. Look, I can even have a conversation with Big. Even more solidifying this sense of Carrie is the one. We can do it. everything is going the way it's supposed to go. We had problems, we overcame them, and we're good. Pair that also with the fact that Aidan is someone who does want that life, who does want family. That's why he started having a different approach when it came to dating Carrie. Remember? He wanted this to be serious. He wanted to have a real relationship. Clearly, he has a certain goal. Now, let's pair that with the story we've been told so many times. And as much as we want to fight it, like we need to consciously fight it. All a woman wants is marriage. A guy is the one who is maybe, doubtful. A guy is the one who is like, gets locked in. I think that there could be, let's say, still this sentiment about how a woman only waits for the guy to be ready to propose. Aidan himself might not even try to understand where Carrie is at because in his mind, who doesn't want that? Who does not want to get proposed to? They're okay. They go through all these challenges. They came together after the shit show that went down. Clearly, Carrie wants to be with me because otherwise she would go with Big, right? He doesn't know that Big never takes Carrie seriously, but detail. So for him, this is just a magical moment, right? I'm gonna pop the question because I'm ready. Ding. Who knows? Maybe if she would say, "Oh, I am letting go of Big," the time that he asked her, he would be like, down on his knees and proposing. Overall, clearly they are not on the same page. While Aidan is ready, Carrie isn't. But then she's also wondering, what if this is right and I'm just afraid?
In matters of love, how do you know when it's right?
What do you think, Mary? What would you say, when is it right? When do you know that it's right? I'd say like this. It does depend, where are you in your life? At what stage in your life are you in? Because if you are someone who, let's say, values independence, values the sense of self and individuality, if you feel that you are a little bit rocky in your life, be it financial situation, be it the relationship you have with yourself, even though your partner is the one you want to actually get that commitment, it could feel like it is too fast. You're not really where you want to be, so you can, at least you will never be fully ready, I guess, or fully ready, fully whole. That doesn't exist. But let's say 80%, like you're 80% okay with your life. Therefore, you're stepping into this partnership because you actually want to have a partnership and not as a compensation for something. For example, let's say that your life is total shit show. You have no stability. You have no sense of security, nothing. And then the marriage or someone proposes to you or your partner proposes to you. And it's almost like, okay, I'm doing something right. Okay, this is something that I can say I'm good. Similar to getting pregnant. Your life is in shambles, but suddenly, the only thing that it's needed is to get pregnant. Yes, we don't make enough money between the two of us. Yes, we don't even know where are we gonna live. But you know what they say. You're never truly ready, okay? So let's just leave it up to I don't know who. I would say that when you make decisions from that state, it's not because you're making decisions being ready or this being the right thing. It's more of a compensation to make yourself feel good because, we are also conditioned with what makes you a good human or a good person in this world. And having a family or getting married is in some cultures still pretty heavy, especially if you were raised in these traditional senses. I'm not saying that's still the case. I'm just saying that it is the case for some. And it's not the best. Now, let's say you have shit figured out, right? Let's say that you do feel very well in the way you have your life and in your partner or with your partner, but then you still have some hesitancy about the actual marriage. Again, the question is it about what the marriage represents and why do you have fears around that? Is it the fear of losing independency? And then again, what is partnership for you? Why do you feel like you're going to lose your independence being with someone? Have an open conversation with your partner about it. How will you feel secure and not secure and blah, blah, blah. Find the solution that will make you feel both good or the actual fact that you're just not the right person for one another. It is comfortable while you have the simple exit. I just walk away if something doesn't work. But when you actually need to commit and maybe it needs a little bit more bureaucracy when you want to leave, then you start thinking, is this really it? Are we really two people who actually enjoy spending time together? Or is us being together just convenient? Those are the things and the questions that I would try to understand if I would have certain hesitancy toward marriage, if I want to be married, okay? Because there's also a thing, do you actually want marriage and why not, right? And if your partner is okay with that. But if you're someone who wants that, who eventually wants that, but you have some doubts, then, those are the questions that I would try to figure out. And I wouldn't put all on did he buy me the right ring? Because that means that he knows me. No. He could also ask someone for an advice and get the right ring, but he knows shit about you or wants to know shit about you. Okay? But please let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about this? Like, what do you think tells you it's the right thing or not the right thing? And this is not aesthetically pleasing. So Carrie decides to take matters into her own hands. She knows exactly what she wants and she knows what she is not ready for. So she takes Aidan out for dinner.
So, yes, Aidan, I would love to live with you.
She is okay with him buying the apartment for the two of them and living together. Now, she also wants to make sure that they figure out the money situation.
Because I don't want a free ride. We're still individuals.
But she does want to take this relationship to the next step and actually move in together.
That makes me really happy, Carrie.
Aidan is really happy and it makes him want to ask her something else. He reaches in his pocket and as Carrie is looking at the possibility of the terror, her having gut play out again, she excuses herself to the bathroom.
Would you excuse me for a minute?
Sure, are you okay?
I'm just gonna go to the bathroom.
Now she is in the bathroom and she is freaking out, but also almost like, it's okay. I can do this.
What are you doing?
She goes back out. She sits down and she is kind of nervously looking at Aidan's action right now. And then we go into the typical rom-com when she's thinking he's going to propose, he's not going to propose, because what Aidan asks her is if he can pay for the dinner even though she invited, right? So there you have it, saved. And not only is Carrie saved by Aidan wanting to pay for the dinner, she's also saved by Big. She's outside looking for taxi, but you know how it is. When Carrie is in trouble...
Hey, lady! Need a ride?
Well, there is always a savior on horizon. Now, this was the weirdest shit I've seen in a long time. Correction, since the last episode, when Aidan and Big became friends. I still can't get over that one. Carrie is actually really happy to see Big. Is that the solution to the cab shortage in New York?
Just a happy coincidence.
Oh, admit it. You drive around looking for me, don't you?
What the actual F? What in the name of this ceiling, and I have no idea what that's supposed to represent, is going absurdity. That's what's supposed to represent, okay? What the F? Oh, it's weird why I'm reacting this way. Well, let me ask you, do you meet a friend and the first thing you do, you flirt with them and ask and tell them, no, you're just driving around trying to look for me? What? This is supposed to be your friend. Pure friendship. Pure friendship, and you're gonna say, no, you're just looking for... It's so embarrassing. Honestly, it is so embarrassing and pick me. I was so shooked when I saw that. I couldn't believe it. I was like, who the fuck writes this shit? And if you're like, no, that's not weird. If you walk down the street, imagine yourself, you're walking down the street, you're like, thinking about life or your bank account, and you meet a friend. And you're like, oh my God, hey, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, Oh, don't pretend that you're, no, or no, what, how did she say? Well, admit you were looking around for me. Are you freaking kidding? I would get freaked out so badly because is this person obsessed with me? It like, why would that be their first thought? Even if it's a joke, just to make a joke out of that, it's kind of like, wait, what? It's not normal. It's not normal in my world. And if this is my world, you know what? I like being in my world. I like to have things clear. And this ain't it. It is not a normal reaction. But also, is the relationship between Carrie and Big normal? No. No, it isn't. So let's just rest case. What? Case closed. Something.
Don't flatter yourself. You're on my terms.
He offers her a ride and Carrie is happy to take it. He's been good and Carrie has been very, very good. He reminds her it's not a contest. Yeah, he keeps on embarrassing Carrie, honestly. The exchange is very cheeky, back and forth. We're so playful. We get one another. But it's also like movie. Unless there's something going on between the two of you. Clearly. But this time, Aidan and Big became kind of friends. Kinda. So he actually also asked how Country Bob is.
How are things with Country Bob?
You know his name now.
Yeah, I guess that friendship also wasn't real. Carrie clocks it though. He should know his name by now. Bis. I need to calm down. Can you imagine your friend again disrespecting your partner? In what world is that okay? In what world you are not looking at this person and say, stop the freaking cab. Stop the cab. I'm going. Unacceptable. I've given you so many chances to be respectful to my relationship and to my partner, and you keep walking all over it. And I don't care if you're just insecure and blah. I do not. No, zip it, enough. But you know why Carrie does not stand up for her man? Well, because secretly her man is actually big, okay? Like I said, Aidan is the safety net. It is so clear that she keeps prioritizing Big, that she's buddies with Big, and Aidan is the, we need to protect him type of thing, that she doesn't even feel like this is wrong. If you truly care about a person, how can you let someone else diss them? How? Like, seriously. She clearly values Big more than she values Aidan. Period. Period. Okay? But to surprise of us all, Big corrects himself.
Aidan.
Baby steps. Carrie says he's good, and she has this smile. And Big wonders, what is that?
I don't think you want to know.
Oh, I bet I can handle it.
He actually wants to marry her. No vomit this time, right? When you need to show your ex that someone actually wants to marry you, then it's not gut wrenching.
I think he wants to marry me.
See this? See this, Big? He wants to put a ring on it. This time, it's not, he wants to marry and I'm not sure if I'm ready. This time, it's like, he might be the guy for me.
He's not the guy for you.
He might be the guy for me.
What the F again? What the wall is going on here? He might be the guy. He might be the guy. That's why I might say yes to him. What did she eat? Seriously, what did she eat? I think that vomiting is a reflection of her health issues, okay? She needs to go to a doctor for a checkup. Also, the fact that she says it in defense to Big, please, you cannot convince me that this is normal and this is Carrie being a good partner. No, this is Carrie all about Big. Like, can you imagine she's even defending herself in front of Big about if her man is the right guy? Well, of course, because she doesn't believe it. I don't know. Is it showing how Big still has a hold on Carrie? And not because that's true love or whatever, but it's almost like trauma bonding and toxicity and the push and pull type dynamics, that she literally loses all senses seeing Big. And it's showing how dangerous it is when you're not cutting off the person who created that dynamic, or the two of you established that dynamic? Or is it showing that Carrie is just basically a bad person, and especially a bad partner to Aidan? I I find it difficult to say that it's so black and white, it's one or the other. It's combination of both, or I'm leaning more towards the first one, this being like kind of toxic relationship, right? And this push and pull constantly happening. But because she does not want to take the self-responsibility, she does not want to actually address that this is not okay and that she needs to figure shit out on her own with the therapist. I don't know, but it's not okay. But she does not do that. That's why she is stuck. That's the thing. Yes, sometimes people will just know how to play on your emotions, how to play on your deepest desires and needs, and you don't even realize when you get so hung up around them. But the only thing that we can do is take care of ourselves, listen to ourselves, and take the time to actually evaluate the situation. Not ignore when we do feel put down, when we do feel like we're not heard, when our needs are not met, when we are treated badly. Like, don't ignore it. Don't find excuses, but sit down and ask yourself, why am I allowing that? Is it really so perfect that it's worth all the pain? Like, really have that conversation. And usually the answer is no, it's not. It's because I'm dealing with some shit that I need to figure out. Because I'm seeking validation where I shouldn't be seeking it. At least that was the case with me. Once I actually started to listen to myself or try to understand myself better, moves were made. When it comes to Big and his attitude in this conversation, saying how Aidan is not the guy, like there are a couple of things happening. And honestly, there is a combination of him just being, ego, but also him reacting exactly how Carrie showed him to react. He doesn't really see Aidan as the right guy for Carrie or this relationship as like a serious relationship because Carrie constantly shows him that that's not it. I mean, Carrie cheated on Aidan with Big. Like that is the biggest thing that shows you that there's something not working. And if they would actually go through it in the right way, she would cut Big off. Like Big knows that. Any normal person, the fact that you cheated with me on your person and now you still try to convince me that you're actually in love with them, but you're meeting me, you're trying to make us friends and things. It's like that, I would find it very difficult to actually respect that relationship. And I think that's how Big is, because paired with his own entitlement and ego. Like he cannot really take this relationship serious because Carrie didn't show him that this is actually serious. She's just showing him that she's now in a good relationship and she has the good on paper guy. But it's almost like he sees through her. He's looking at Carrie and he's thinking, kiddo, sure, let's play this. Oh, now you're with someone else and this is real. But I can totally see how you're craving to get me off this close right now. Now, the other side could be that he's actually, they are trying to show how he knows Carrie, right? And he does know that she's not really for that Aidan is not the right guy, that there is not real compatibility, or simply that he sees him and Carrie as the same. Like we're both just fooling around. We are not really taking all of these people serious. We're having fun. We're playing this pull and push between the two of us, but it's all just, we're better than everyone else and we're just enjoying life.
I'm just not ready yet.
Big though sees it a little bit differently. She'll never be ready.
You're not the marrying kind.
Oh, Biz, do not even pretend that you were not shooked by what he said. Not shooked, but the fact that he literally said it in her face. The thing that we've all been thinking all along, that he never saw Carrie as someone who he would marry. Biz, look at the proof right now. Look at the proof. The proof is in the butter. I feel that's wrong. We were speculating this whole time that he never saw Carrie as a marriage material, even though there were theories and whispers of how he's just afraid. He even might be afraid because Carrie evokes in him something so strong that he doesn't know how to... no, he never saw her as a marriage material. And he told her right in her face. Right in her face. Now, you would also expect that Carrie would be a little bit shooked and she would be like, what? But no.
And you, I guess, are? So what does that tell us?
The two of them are the last people to give any relationship advice. So she's not going to listen to Big's opinions also. And honestly, the only right thing that Carrie did in this moment. Like she says, he has 2 failed marriages and, she also doesn't have the best record when it comes to her relationship and commitment. So not the crowd. I do feel that if we play into it, they kind of feel connected even more, They're both clueless. Buddies, twins, special. She is back at home and she gets a little itch, a little, I really want to check it again. She goes into Aidan's bag and what's that? There is no blue box anymore. What the hell? Did he change his mind?
Hello? Hey, spy girl. Did you tell Aidan I didn't like the ring? Did you tell him not to propose?
She calls Miranda, because she was the crime-in partner the first time. Crime being which ring did she help to choose? But this time, Miranda is staying out of it. She does not know anything. She does not want to know anything. And why is Carrie even so upset? She will in any case say no. So why is she bothered that there's no ring anymore?
What if he realized I'm not the one?
Yeah, Miranda. I mean, oh, you're supposed to be her best friend. How can she forget that it's about the validation? Okay? Yes, Carrie is not ready to get married. But also, why did Aidan change his mind? Okay? Like this, am I not the one? What if he realized that this is not it? Now that is something that Carrie is just, does she really want to accept that? Now, there is again this question, right? Does Carrie now freak out that Aidan is potentially not proposing because deep down she actually wants this? She actually wants to be with him. And the thing that is keeping her or like pulling her back is just maybe this fear of commitment and being good enough. And maybe in some way, seeing the ring, she got this sense of, man, like he really does see me as someone who is good enough and he values me. And finally, someone actually values me and wants to marry me. When she maybe became comfortable with that idea and now the ring is kind of gone, now she's like, shit. What if he changed his mind? What if I'm not really good enough? So even when she says to Miranda that she does not want to get married, maybe that's just, she's not really comfortable in saying it, right? She's still dealing with these emotions. Where is she? How does she feel about the situation? But then there's also this side of that it's really about that sense of validation rather than Aidan partnership being ready or not being ready. What's driving her is to be the marriage material, right? What's driving her is to be seen as the one. Maybe on some level, having that talk with Big and him kind of, saying that she's not the marriage material and so on, maybe she does want to distance herself from that, from Big, from who Big is. Like she does not want to be like Big when he's not serious and she wants to be in some way different than that. She wants to prove to herself, to Aidan and to Big that she is marriage material. But if I go even further, every time Carrie doesn't feel good enough, she goes into or she relies into deceitful behaviors. For example, Aidan didn't want to be intimate with her at the beginning when they started dating, so she resorted to being pushy.
Big tub, little person.
And not realizing that she's actually being very disrespectful and treating very badly Aidan in that moment. When Aidan first does not want her back when they end the relationship, what does she do?
His word said no, but his kiss said yes.
She is actually playing on his emotions to get what she wants, totally neglecting that this is not okay. And this is actually very, very manipulative behavior. Aidan doesn't propose? Well, she needs to make sure that he does, because even though she doesn't want it, She wants him to want it. All of this is showing the tendency of her neglecting the true needs and being good to the other person the second she does not feel good enough. And, it does hint a little bit to potential narcissism. I actually watched the documentary, or like the miniseries, not a documentary, of this Belle Gibson. The lady that faked cancer and so on. There's a new Netflix series and it's actually very entertaining. But you can see how she is, she has this crazy need for validation, to be seen as good enough, to the point that she is very deceitful to other people just so she can get that recognition. And she doesn't even realize, she thinks she's doing good, or her thing is, oh, let me be so nice to this person, and I'm even gonna prepare this and invite them to this and promise them this. And it's all fueled just by her need to feel good enough. Because the second she feels good enough, she doesn't care about that person anymore. And that's how Carrie feels to me in her relationship with Aidan. The second there's a risk of her being not feeling good enough, she's willing to be really, really manipulative to him just to get that recognition. And that's why this relationship is totally doomed. Sure, we see them having nice moments and being flirtatious and being in love, but all of that seems very surface level. Nothing is really real partnership and connection, because there is no real respect and genuine love between the two of them, or better, Carrie towards Aidan. Carrie does not really respect Aidan. And that's why this relationship will never go where it needs to go to be healthy. We see Aidan and Carrie taking Pete out for a walk. Now, Carrie is not the happiest.
Pete has to go.
Yeah, okay, but why do I have to go?
And as Pete is shitting, Aidan is picking up the poop. But what is that? It is not picking up the poop. He is proposing to Carrie.
Here, hold this, would you?
Yes, Biz, Aidan proposed to Carrie while taking Pete out to take a dump. Romance right there. Honestly, on one hand, it does seem like the perfect, in a way, a perfect, shit, I don't know. Like, this is the last thing she would think, right? And honestly, I love dogs. Look, two dogs in the back here, you see? And then there's another one lying down. I love dogs. And from the first look, I was like, oh my God, so cute. But if you think about it, he literally pretended to pick up shit to then propose to her. I don't know who the fuck wrote that, but genius. Carrie is looking at the box and she's looking at Aidan and she's looking at the box because she knows that now she's gonna have to pretend that she likes the ring even though she hates it. Potentially, she'll have to say yes to the ring that she does not want because she doesn't want to be rude, and also she wants him to want her. So, okay? It's that sense of being good enough that's kicking in right now and being the marriage material.
Oh my God, it's not. God,
Carrie doesn't have to act. Oh my God, the ring is perfect. It's the right ring.
it's such a beautiful ring.
And you know how it is. The right ring, the right man.
Yes.
Yes, Biz. Carrie says yes to Aidan while he's kneeling down next to a pile of shit. Okay. But that's the thing, while Carrie was looking at that ring and at Aidan, she actually started thinking about that maybe there are no right moments and right guys and right ring.
Maybe there are no right moments, right guys, right answers.
Maybe sometimes you just need to listen to your heart. And as much as this was supposed to be romantic, first of all, Aidan is kneeling next to a pile of shit. And Carrie, by the way, I don't think Pete pooped. I'm just, being an asshole. And Carrie says yes to a potentially not the right guy. That's how you do. So So Carrie, I guess, is settling, right? She does understand that maybe there are no right guys. And maybe this guy who is kneeling in front of her might be the best she can get. Maybe sometimes we're just too focused on perfection when in reality, as long as they pick the right ring and you can, have it nicely on your finger and it goes with your outfit, who cares about the right guy, right? I mean, that's just details. Now, Mary, before you come after me, I get it. What the movie or the show is trying to say is, we are too focused on knowing the right guy, the right moment, this and that. Every needs to be perfect and a fairy tale. I get it, but this ain't it, Biz. This ain't it. You cannot look at the guy and say and think, you know what, maybe there are not right guys, so I'm gonna say yes. Like, what? I think you are delusional. At least in that moment, you're like, you know what? Maybe with all the flaws that this guy has, and maybe the challenges that we have, like looking at him, he is the right person. He's the right person I want to go through it all. We don't have things figured out, but I know that I want to be with him. That's different than thinking, you know what, maybe he's not the right guy, but I'll just say yes. I'll listen to my heart. And then the question is, did she say yes to the guy or did she say yes to the ring? Did she say yes to the material aspect of the ring or the metaphor of the ring? Seeing that Aidan actually does know her. He actually knows her fully and he accepts her. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the relationship that always looked a little bit sus. I mean, at the end of the day, they went through it all. They really overcame the challenges. And maybe all of my analysis were wrong. And I'm just a little bit pessimistic and negative. Because Carrie is engaged. Carrie is engaged with Aidan. And you know what they say? If you put that ring on it, then it is right. Right? That's why we never have divorces. But she needs to break the news to someone else. Someone who maybe didn't expect this.
I have something to tell you.
Aidan left you?
She meets Samantha at a bar. She got engaged because the ring was right.
I've seen it.
What?
Well, somebody had to help the poor guy.
And Carrie feels grateful. She feels grateful that Samantha, her friend, actually approves of this marriage. Now, on one side, we could have expected that Carrie would feel bad about the situation because if she connected the right ring to the right person, or Aidan actually knowing her, finding out that it was actually Samantha who helped Aidan could make her feel maybe this is not right. But I guess in this very moment, Carrie is more focused on the fact that maybe she's not really sure about the situation, but it is comforting that her friend is. It is comforting that her friend trusts in this, despite being the one who was always very vocal about Aidan not being the one. And maybe that's what Carrie needed. She needed someone else to tell her that, you know what, this is not bad. And here's the thing, we like to believe that Samantha is the shit. She is the all wise and, she's the model and blah, blah, blah. But Samantha ain't the relationship type at this point, okay? So as much as this is almost like this moment of the hidden side of Samantha, which is wise and all, no, she's a dum-dum. She helped a guy to pick the right ring, even though she thinks that Carrie and Aidan are not good for one another. Okay, so let's not make it something that it isn't. And Carrie feels satisfied because a friend who never believes in marriages helped her with this marriage. Wow, fireworks. We can even say that Samantha is looking at her friend and she's like, Biz, you're not getting anything better than this. I mean, Aidan at the end of the day is forgiving you left and right. I don't know why, but I guess, this is good. You're in a stable relationship. So let me help. Let me know in the comments below how you felt about this whole shenanigans and why do you think Carrie said yes? Why do you think Aidan proposed? And like I said, let's try to focus on what we know so far. And yeah, let's have fun in the comments. And as always, trust your individuality.